Okay guys, today's video is going to be on mobile antenna troubleshooting using a wattmeter. And the scenario is you have an antenna that you suspect is bad. So you go ahead and hook up your radio to a wattmeter, and you go to check the reverse and forward power. And sure enough, when you key it up, you get about as much reverse as you do forward. So you know you have some kind of major antenna issue going on. Some radios like this one, if you key it up long enough, it'll actually give you a warning to let you know that it had a VSWR fault. But here's a scenario. So we also have some kind of bad antenna. So I want to go through just a quick trouble procedure that I use when I come across a bad antenna like this on a mobile. Is the first thing I do is I go ahead and I check for a short on the main coax. A lot of times you'll have either someone put the connector on wrong and it's shorted out, or something's happened to the cable that had it penetrated. But I'll go ahead and I'll disconnect the cable and I'll measure the resistance to confirm that there's not a short. If I don't see a short, then I'll go ahead and head on up to the roof where the antenna is, and I'll bring with me an adapter and a dummy load. So I get the dummy load here. I'll go ahead and take my antenna off. This is where I would do my normal visual inspection, and go ahead and hook my dummy load up with the NMO adapter. And now this dummy load is just a giant 50 ohm resistor. It's a DC resistor. So literally I can come back with my ohmmeter now back at the radio and measure the resistance, and I should see approximately 50 ohms. So there's 52.5 ohms, which is fantastic. And I can go ahead and put that back on my wattmeter and key it up and confirm that all my reflected power has now disappeared, now that I have a perfect antenna on it. And I key it up, and sure enough, all my reflected power is gone, and I'm 100% forward. So I know at this point now that there was definitely something wrong with my antenna, and that there was nothing wrong with my coaxial assembly coming up. And in this particular case, it's unusual to have a quarter wave go physically bad. This is a brand new one, and it was a manufacturer's mistake where they forgot to put in the little the plastic centerpiece that kept the whip in contact with the button on the NMO mount. So kind of unusual there to see a manufacturer's mistake, but that's what it was. And but this is your typical setup. And if you had something that measured funny, you could always come and relocate your wattmeter to the output of your NMO to confirm that you're not having a large power loss on the coax somewhere. Because I've only had it happen to me one time in my career, but you can have a short on your coax at just the right wavelength length, and it'll show no reflected power. It'll show full forward, no reflected. Totally fake you out. You'd have no idea what was going on. But anyway, there's your basic mobile antenna troubleshooting. So hopefully that helps you out.